Let's all breathe. How you doing? Good. Just checking in with our amazing emergency substitute tech provider. Thank you, Enoch. Are we ready to go? And Enoch, are we online as well? So welcome everyone online. Thanks for joining us this morning. I bet it's nice and toasty at your house. It's nice and toasty in here. It's just the in-between part that get a little cool. So if I haven't met you yet,
seats in the car.
oh,
So
I'm jealous. I'm jealous. If I haven't met you yet, or you online, I'm Kity Benson. I'm the minister here at Unity in Naperville, and I get to have the joy of working every Sunday with our band, Highest Good. So let's give them some love today. Kim-Char and Mark, Kevin, Mark. Yeah, we're grateful for that. We love this music. It's just as important as everything else we do here on a Sunday. It's actually, I would say, more important. It's actually the thing that got me to come to Unity and come again when I first was discovering the lyrics. The lyrics are meant to change your thoughts, which is a little bit about what we're going to talk about today. So notice what you're singing today. They'll be up here on the screen if you're watching online. See if we can get a good view of what's on the slides, and just let it sink into that subconscious layer, because that's the one that tells us how to behave every day. Let's see what lyrics we're singing today that could actually help us throughout the week. What are we going to sing first?
My soul is welcome.
My soul is welcome here. Is that it?
Yes.
I think I know that song. If you like to stand when you're singing, now's the time. Otherwise, feel free to stay seated.
Good morning, everyone. And just bask in this knowing you indeed are welcome here. Oh, yes. It's a song by our friend Daniel Nemad. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Let's celebrate. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm at the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. I'm at the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome. Let's sing your soul. Turn to your friend. Your soul is welcome. Turn to your neighbor and say, oh, your soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. Your soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. Yes, it is. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Just rest in that. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Thank you, God. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. Yes. Don't that feel good? Right place, right time, and always allowing the flow and the movement of Spirit in us and as us, right on through us. That's what this song is about. 1, 2, 3. Through me, Spirit move through me, from head to heart to hands. Through me, Spirit move through me, from head to heart to head. Let's make it a prayer. Through me, Spirit move through me, from head to heart to hands. Through me, Spirit move through me, from head to heart to hands. A mighty river is flowing, bringing life to the land. Abundance flows as I fully extend, from head to heart to hands. Here we go. Through me, Spirit move through me, from head to heart to hands. Through me, yeah, Spirit move through me, from head to heart to hands. I share from the bounty, because I understand more blessings flow as I simply let it roll, from head to heart to hands. Yes! Oh, through me, Spirit move through me, from head to heart to hands. Through me, Spirit move through me, from head to heart to hands. Let's do that chorus again. Through to heart again.
Let's allow that spirit to move through us, to close our eyes for a moment, to be present to the presence, knowing that we are a vessel, an expression of that life, that love, that divine energy, that wisdom. Through us, Spirit moves through us as we let it be. Amen. And this is a good time for us to speak our invocation and remember this presence. Let's say these words together. Oh my gosh, I had a brain freeze there for me. I started thinking, oh, look, there's Kyra. All right, I'm back in my body now. All right, together. There's only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life. The all-loving goodness of God. Thank you. You may be seated.
I like that statement, Kity. Present with the presence. We're present with the presence. And we allow all that it is to flow. I allow goodness to come in. I am ready to receive. I allow goodness to come in. I believe, I believe, I believe. I allow love into my life. I am ready to receive. I allow love into my life. And I believe, I believe, I believe. Welcome hope and faith, and welcome love and ways, and welcome hope and faith, and welcome love and ways. I allow fortune in my home. I am ready to receive. I allow fortune in my home. I believe, I believe, I believe. I allow surrender in my soul. I am ready to let go. I allow surrender in my soul. I let go, I let go, I let go. Welcome hope and faith. Welcome love and ways. Yes, welcome hope and faith, and welcome love and ways. I allow goodness. I allow goodness to come in. I am ready to receive. believe. And I believe, I believe, I believe, I believe, and I believe, I believe, I believe.
I believe too. Anyone heard of the Kabbalah? Just a real simple way to describe it, and I'm not a student, but it's a set of Jewish mysticism, mystic teachings. And I came across a book written by Michael Berg, who is the director of the Kabbalah Center and also an author. The book was called Becoming Like God. Couldn't help myself. I had to buy that book. Becoming Like God. How audacious. And right at the beginning of the book, he shares this little story that I'm not sure if he wrote it or if it was part of the Kabbalah teachings, but let me share it with you today. He says, a rock is hewn from a mountain. It has the same nature as the mountain, but when it's disconnected, it's no longer called mountain, it's called rock. Not one atom of its essence has changed, yet pulling it from the mountain has made it something else. Put the rock back into the mountain and it's no longer a rock. So the rock's existence is determined not by its substance, but by its relation to the mountain that is its source. Kabbalah teaches that just as rocks are hewn from mountains, humans emerge from God. At the level of the soul, humans have exactly the same essence as God. In essence, humans are like God. So, how did we become a rock as a metaphor? He would say that it has something to do with a pickaxe. And the pickaxe in our case, or in what he writes about in his book, is a desire to receive for the self alone. It's the desire to receive for the self alone, also known as ego, that chips us away from our oneness with Spirit. And that's what I want to talk about today. Last week, we started this series about living our spirituality, living it. And just the word spirituality is open for interpretation. But we started last week looking at what is the essence or the foundation of spirituality. We would say it's God, it's source, it's creator, it's the one. And so in order for us to better live our spirituality, we have to understand what spirituality is sourced out of. And we looked at some of the qualities of God. We're never going to be able to fully describe spirit. But we talked about it as the only presence in the universe and beyond, the only power in the universe and beyond. So that's omnipotence, and omnipresence is another way to describe it. We also talked about God as the life energy in our bodies, not God giving us life like in a bucket and pouring it over us. God is the life energy in our being. God is the power, the life that has a character of love. What we call love is actually a way of expression, but it's also a power. And God expressing as love is expressing as a consciousness that sees only good. When we say that God loves me, it is the highest consciousness seeing all of us as only good, desiring good for us, working good for us. And we talked about God as substance, not God giving us things, but the actual energy, the invisible spiritual energy that later becomes visible things. And we'll talk more about how that happens next week. And we talked about God as mind, as intelligence, as omniscience. That single mind that's holding everything within it, that is seeking to guide the creative process as long as we allow it, and we're going to talk more about that today. So, knowing a little bit now of what we can expect from God, our question today is, how do we live that spirituality in our own lives? How are we even a spirit? How can we possibly be compared to the all that is, the great I am, flawed as we appear to be? Anyone have a flawed day this week? Anyone? A flawed moment every minute of my life? Okay, no. Actually, I have some pretty good days. And we go back to the scripture that says, you were made in the image and likeness of God. That is audacious, to think that I am the image. I am the likeness of God. So this is my, when we get on this kind of subject, this is where I like to tell my version of the story of the Garden of Eden. Who here has actually read the book of Genesis and the story about the Garden of Eden? Raise your hand if you've done that. Okay. All right. Well, then this might be new to some of you, or at least a refresher that you've heard from someone else. We look at it as a metaphor or an allegory of the beginnings of humankind, where God, the Creator, created a male and a female, named them Adam and Eve, put them in this fabulous garden where they could have anything they wanted, told them not to do one thing, and of course, they did. They did it anyway. And for that, they got kicked out of the garden. They could no longer have access to it, and they were put out into the wilderness to scratch their living out of the dirt, to live by the sweat of their brow. And that according to a certain belief system, because of that, we're all flawed, we're all sinful in nature now, and none of us can experience the Garden of Eden without following a certain path. So I would like to metaphysically interpret that whole thing. This is literally, no one else's, I wasn't trained this is Kity's version, so let me just start with that. This is Kity's version of the metaphysical interpretation of the Garden of Eden. I imagine, since there is no beginning, I can't imagine when this happened, but that the allness of God, the absolute nature of God, the everywhere present mind of God, chose to begin to express itself. And in that choice, it became the Christ Spirit. The Christ Spirit that now becomes all kinds of things, including you and I. And that Christ Spirit is in the spiritual dimension still, and it's enjoying sparking off into a million different pieces of itself, each unique expressions of God, and then choosing to have an experience that it could not have in the spiritual dimension. In order for it to continue to evolve and grow, to continue to create in new ways that couldn't happen in this perfect garden. So think of the spiritual dimension as the garden. In this garden, it's all love. There's no questions. Everything we need is given. Everyone is perfectly well. But there were certain things that it couldn't experience, that it wanted to experience more of. And so the idea came to create a dimension that we call our universe, our physical universe. And planet Earth is one expression in that lower, slower physical dimension. And in this dimension, sometimes things go wrong. Not like in the garden. But this dimension is a place where we can explore and experiment and create because we're running into walls. So as the Christ, expressing uniquely as a bunch of spirits like you, it decides, sign me up, coach, I want to go in. And in we come into a human beingness to run into these troubles. We were not kicked out of the garden. We chose to come into this wilderness experiment. We chose to come in here because this is where we can grow and expand. And the only way this is going to work is if we also don't allow our humanness to remember who we are as the Christ Spirit. We got to have some kind of a blindfold over us to keep us from basically just knowing it all. So as we come into this experience, I want to share a little bit from Christian Sundberg. He is a person on planet Earth, human just like you and I, with the Christ Spirit, who woke up to who he was and had memories of who he was before he got into this life. And he's written an entire book called A Walk in the Physical. I highly recommend it. It's not like a narrative. He tells a story at the beginning, but then it's just a bunch of essays about what his memories were of that spiritual dimension and how it translates into what we live here now. So here's what he said. The whole, that's W-H-O-L-E with a capital W, the whole of consciousness, that's the absolute God, individuated itself, the Christ expressing uniquely in many different ways. We call those individuations souls. Each soul is indivisibly a part of the one, and yet is simultaneously a precious, sovereign, free-willed piece of the one. Source, with a capital S, takes on experiences where it may veil itself from its own true nature, so it can have the experience of separate perspectives, including apparent, meaning not really, but it looks like, separation. That's important. Metaphorically, the whole must fall asleep to the fullness of what it really is and have a dream of being something limited. What do you think of that? That's kind of fun, right? It has a whole new spin on our life here in the human beingness. It gives us a whole new perspective of why we're here and who we can be. And we need that veil. Now, we're not meant to come in here and get trapped in this suffering experience. This can be a horrible, horrible environment to live in. Would you agree? Yeah. And Jesus warned us about it up here on the screen, John 16:33, in this world, in the physical dimension, there will be tribulation, but take heart, I've overcome the world. I, meaning the Christ in him. Well, guess what? The Christ is in you too. He said that when his disciples looked at someone born blind, they wanted to know why. He said he was born blind so that the works of God might be displayed in him. And then he healed him. So not trapped in the limitations that this physical dimension offers, but definitely meant to be a problem that gets us opening up to something greater than. And what can I do to transform this situation? That's where Jesus said in his own consciousness, I know who I am. He said, if you've seen me, you've seen the Father. He woke up and remembered, I am the Christ expressing. And from John 14, whoever believes in me will also do the works that I do, and in fact will do greater works than these. We seem to have forgotten that. We read it, but we don't necessarily apply it. Living our spirituality involves doing works beyond what we think the limitation of the human being is stuck with. Are you excited or are you terrified? Okay, so just know that at all times we are being called by our higher self, another word for the Christ nature, we're being called into our greater potential that's dwelling within us. I had lunch with a friend, hadn't seen in a long time, and we were catching up on our lives, and we're both roughly the same age, and we were just talking about, I don't know why, I can't remember what we were literally saying, but the words came out of my mouth along the lines of, you know what, I'm good, I could go anytime. I don't feel like I would miss out on anything if I left now or 20 years from now. I have no need to live a really long life. And my friend said, well, isn't that the whole reason why we're here, is to get out of here? I mean, I guess, I think he said, isn't that our aim? Isn't that our aim to do what we need to do to be able to get to heaven? And having other friends who kind of think along those same lines, I know that part of that thinking is, I know what my thinking was. I even at one point quit college because I thought Jesus was coming back before I was going to graduate. And I was excited about that. I wanted to get out of here. I did not want to be here on this planet. Now that I know who Jesus is, I want to be out of here. So suddenly I realized what I was saying, and I went back in time to that moment where I heard the voice within me as I'm trying to decide whether to start Unity in Naperville or not, thinking it'd be a lot easier if I just went to a church that already exists, get a job as a minister for the first time, find out what the heck I'm supposed to do. And in meditation, heard the voice that said, so that's how it is. You only do what's been done before. How does anything new get born? I still get chills. And I remembered, oh yeah, that's why I'm here. For new things to get born. To be faced with challenges and to say, hey, how does Spirit see this? How does my higher self see this? What can I do here to transform this into something that really expresses who I am as a spiritual being? So to me, that's kind of where I've grown through my experience of God, is that I started off with, I believe I come in here to planet Earth as a human being, and I'm flawed. I have a sinful nature, and my job is to find redemption from that and suffer for the rest of my life till I die, and then get to heaven, which is where it's all at. This is what it's all about, is getting to heaven. And I've gotten to the point now where I feel like I came in not as a human being, I came in as a spiritual being with a divine nature. And my work here is to awaken to that, to remember my true nature, and then begin to live as that spiritual being having the human experience. So this is where it's at. Heaven is not where it's at. This is where it's at. I've heard it said that Spirit is just lined up there in the spiritual dimension, waiting its turn to get in here. Because this is where it's at. This is where the creative process happens. So Michael Berg would say, we have the same essence, therefore the same potential as God, and everyone alive has a destiny infinitely richer than they know. Doesn't matter how old you are, how much money you have, what education you have, what your body is like, you have a source within you that is infinitely richer and waiting to be expressed. So Paul wrote to the Corinthians and said, now there are varieties of gifts, but the same Spirit. There are varieties of services, but the same Lord. And there are varieties of activities, but it's the same God who activates all of them in everyone. Every single one of us, same Christ Spirit, expressing uniquely over and over again as we will allow. So how do we express? How do we reveal that potential? Good news, you are not a rock. And your source is not a mountain made of stone. God is Spirit, you are Spirit. There are no boundaries, no barriers between you and Spirit. The only thing that gets in the way of your lower self knowing your higher self is your thinking. That is incredible. Just take that in for a minute. The only thing getting in our way on this planet Earth is our thinking. That's the only tiny little hiccup in being open and receptive to all that God has for us and wants to be through us. I think we should breathe. What a relief. Doesn't it feel like a relief to you? So we're going to look today at this thinking process and get a deeper understanding of how it works in us so we can be in charge instead of our human ego being in charge. Is that okay with you? Okay, so the first level of consciousness we want to know about is what we call the superconscious, and the superconscious is that mind of God that we talked about last week, and it's in you. So right now, you have access to the mind of God and all that's in it. You have access to ideas, you have access to solutions, you are the omniscience of God at work. And you're going to receive from it as intuition and inspiration and in dreams and in feelings. This is how Spirit will communicate to you. But there's no limit to what Spirit wants us to know and is constantly giving of itself. As a matter of fact, we attract into our awareness exactly what we need to know in any given moment if we go along with this process. So know, first of all, I have a superconscious, the mind of God within me, and it has everything that I need. And then in Paul's writings again to the Corinthians, to each is given the manifestation of the Spirit for the common good. All these gifts are activated by the one and the same Spirit, who allots to each one individually, just as the Spirit chooses. So know, you are allotted with exactly what you need for your reason for being here on planet Earth. And the question is, will you open your mind and heart to it? Now, if the superconscious was the only level of consciousness we had while we were in the body, game over. Do you see that? If we were a super being in this physical body, it would always be well, we'd always have enough money, we'd always be getting along with each other because we're just pure love, we'd always know the answer to everything. What fun would that be? At least we should have a few problems first so that we have this catalyst for creation. So we have this veil that is part of the human package that we call the subconscious. And this veil is what keeps us from knowing that all is well without a little work. And that veil is providing us with resources that we need in order to grow and expand and unfold. So don't hate your subconscious. You just need to learn how to use it, how to work with it. So that subconscious level is the one that sits between superconscious and your conscious awareness that says, I'm here today at Unity and I'm listening to Kity. I don't really know what she's saying, but I'm here. Okay, that's your conscious mind. So in the middle, here's your subconscious mind, and it's blocked off our memory for most of us that we're a spiritual being and we're all that is. And that is a place, think of it like a storage cabinet, a filing cabinet, and what you've been putting in your subconscious cabinet is everything you've done, everything you've said, everything you've thought, felt, believed. It holds on to and starts to form habits and stores the habits there. And its job is to basically take what you've given it and give it back out until it becomes manifest in your life. So one of the things Ernest Holmes wrote was, it has the intelligence and power to produce, but no choice as to what to produce. Having no conscious mind of its own, it receives ideas given it and tends to create a form around them. Or as Charles Fillmore says, it's the purpose and the nature of the subconscious mind to reproduce. To reproduce. So if you have spent a lot of time in your life looking at something with judgment that says, that's bad, then not only will you continue to think that without even having to process, it just comes out, oh, that's bad. Not only will you just reproduce that thought over and over again, but it'll start to reproduce feelings of like kind. And after you start to feel that and believe that is absolutely bad, then it starts to affect your behaviors. And you start taking action to prove that that's bad. And you're just radiating that's bad out here to the world until the universe responds, as it does with divine law, which we'll talk about next week. So just keep that in mind. I'm storing stuff in here, and it is going to reproduce. And then we have, something that we're probably most familiar with is our conscious mind. And the conscious mind, as I said, knows that you're sitting here in this room. Your conscious mind, the one main power that it has is it can choose what to think. Charles Fillmore said, to man is given the highest power in the universe, the conscious power of thought. The thinking faculty in you makes you a free agent because it's your creative center. In and through this one power, you establish your consciousness and you build your world. So the key here is be conscious of what you're thinking. Your consciousness is the builder, not the builder, it's the architect. It's the one that's deciding what we're going to, what things are going to mean in our life, and then the subconscious follows suit. So if we were to consciously repeat a thought over and over again in our mind, the subconscious would simply turn that into a habit of your behavior. If you were to say that thought long enough until you believe it, then your subconscious would begin to produce it as a feeling. So when you find yourself with habits that you don't enjoy and that you wish you would stop doing, let me just run ahead to what Paul said to the Romans. I do not understand my own actions, for I do not do what I want, but I do the very thing I hate. Can anyone relate? Yes. How many times do words come out of our mouth and then we go, oh, shoot, didn't mean to say that. Why did I say that? How? We say it because it's in the subconscious. You've trained your subconscious to spit it back out when you're in similar situations. And our work then is to consciously think before we speak. Did our mothers not tell us that? Think before you speak. What are these words going to represent? So we're free to choose our identity, but we have to be awake in order to do that. Otherwise, the subconscious is choosing our identity, and it's going to be the same one over and over and over again. And it's an opportunity for us to decide what we want to send out to the universe so that we get more of that back. You've got a superconscious that knows everything, that loves only, that is continually giving of itself to you. And you've got the conscious mind that's like trying to find its way, and the subconscious is like, what are you going to tell me today? Who am I going to listen to? One of the things we want our conscious mind to do is say, subconscious, only take direction from the superconscious. Every morning when you wake up, that'd probably be the first words that come out of your mouth. Subconscious mind, today your job is to only take direction from the superconscious. Superconscious knows why you're here. It's ready to support you in every way. It's got the answer to all your questions. So of course, we want to stop, we want to pause, we want to take a breath, we want to get centered. Like we learned yesterday at our Aging with Spirit session, center in, breathe, so that we can be open and receptive to what our higher self is saying. If we get busy focusing on what we hate or don't like or resist in life, then we can only receive more of what it is that we hate and don't like. And it doesn't really matter whether we are thinking these thoughts or actually committing these acts, because Jesus told us in a couple situations, feeling anger is the same as murder. A lustful thought is the same as committing adultery, the actual act. Doesn't matter whether you're thinking it or you're doing it, that is what you are being in your energy, and that is what the universe is responding to. Your subconscious learns how to be that in its energy, and the universe just responds with more ways for you to be that. So if you wonder what's being stored in your subconscious, take a look at your life. Just see how it's playing out for you right now. What have you created so far in your life? What are you experiencing regularly in your life? What do you keep running into over and over again? Somewhere in you, you are believing that you are that. And there's no amount of resistance. The universe doesn't understand exclusion. It doesn't understand when you say, I don't want that. It doesn't hear the don't want. It just hears you focused on that. You are becoming that. Getting settled in the subconscious. So our work is to create this beautiful, harmonious relationship between superconscious, subconscious, and conscious mind. So we're all thinking at the same level. So this requires being awake and observing yourself regularly. And one of the requests that we might ask of ourselves consciously is, am I like God yet? How you doing with that? Anyone? Am I like God yet? Okay, well, how about this? How about if I'm not like God yet, what would it look like if I were like God yet? Or maybe not completely like God for everything. Let's just take the one thing we're struggling with today. What would it look like if I were God dealing with this? How would I behave if I were like God dealing with this? That'd be a fun little exercise, right? Yeah. So just dealing with a sick body. How do we respond to this? Do we talk about the symptoms? Do we give it our attention? I hate these symptoms. What are we doing when we say, I hate these symptoms? We're asking for more symptoms. When we know someone else is not well, are we helping them at all by thinking of their symptoms? No, We're just asking for more symptoms. And basically, we're not asking for more symptoms for them. We're calling it to ourselves because that's what we are becoming by focusing on it. So if I'm going to be like God when my body is behaving in a sick way, what might the qualities of God be that I'd want to focus on? How about life? God is life. I am life. The energy, the substance of God, its pure, loving energy is pouring through my body right now. If you have symptoms, the presence of God is still there too. Even though our physical cells may have gone rogue and are trying to figure their way out on their own because we've been in this low, slow energy, we still have the high energy in us. It just can't break through into the body because we got the veil up and we've got the filing cabinet stuffed full with, oh, I know this symptom. I know what this is going to mean. I know what I'm going to have to do next. And it's usually not good. So we focus on life. We focus on energy. We focus on joy for living, enthusiasm, grateful for healing and health and wholeness and well-being. That is present too. But we have to choose with our conscious mind to tell the subconscious mind that's available too. And I'm going to look at that and give thanks for that. Does that make sense? Yes. So this is how we become like God. Becoming like God. Okay? So self-observation on a regular basis means looking at something that might be in front of us that's a pain to deal with and choosing intentionally. Okay, do I see one power at work here or two? It's easy when we feel sick to think about the power of sickness. We give power to the sickness. But we've always said at Unity every week that there's only one power, and we know it's not sickness, right? That one power, that omnipotence of God is not sickness. There is no such thing as sickness in God. So what is it? It's life. It's wholeness. It's well-being. This is our work. When we talk about redemption, it's not redeeming a sinful soul. Our work of redemption is redeeming our subconscious. It is retraining it. It is cleaning it out and asking that subconscious, if I were to think like God right now, what would I be thinking about this situation? You know, if we're in school and things are not going well, could be in relationship with other students, could be passing a test. I could focus on the fear, I could focus on the anger and the conflict, or I could stop for a moment and say, how does God see this relationship? What is God in this relationship? Is that a second power? Is that person over there that's judging me a second power? What's the answer to that? No. It's a behavior, but they have no power over us. The only one that decides how you're going to be resonating and radiating out to the universe is you. So when they start misbehaving, you don't have to look at that. You don't have to listen to that. Instead, you focus on what you know about the God in you. Peaceful, content, joyful, enthusiastic, loving, kind. Okay, you get where we're going? We're reforming the past. One of the ways that John Randolph Price says to handle it is to say, what's right with me? I mean, we've been trained to say, what's wrong with you? Okay, so let's make a shift. What's right with me? Acknowledge what's right with you every day, and the good will grow. How simple is this, people? How simple is this? What's right with me? Don't be shy. Be honest. What is right with you? If nothing else, you're the Spirit of God expressing. So if you can't find some human quality about yourself, then go with your spiritual qualities, because they're always right. They're always good. I am wise, and I am peace, and I am love. That's what's right with me. And think about how that would affect your decisions and who you are. Reveal your superconscious. So I'm going to ask you to work extra hard this morning. I didn't put these up on a slide. I want you to listen with your ears and repeat after me. Are you ready? God is the vitalizing life in my body. Together? God is the vitalizing life in my body. That's a good one for when you're feeling sick. Okay, here's one when you're struggling with shortage. God's divine substance supplies my every need. Together? God, substance, supplies my every need. Okay, here's one when you are trying to make a good decision. Divine wisdom is directing my thoughts. Together? Divine wisdom is directing my thoughts. And when something has you troubled, perfect love casts out all fear. Together? Perfect love casts out all fear. Just saying those words, maybe a few times, just choose one of those statements and say them again and again. Close your eyes and think about them until you start to feel their response in the subconscious. It will feel like peace. It will feel like relief. It will feel like hope or joy. We're raising our subconscious to align with our superconscious. So that is what is guiding our human experience. And not only is it making it easier to be on planet Earth, but it is also allowing our spirit to accomplish its purpose for being here, which is to create, to expand, to know itself in a deeper way. So you're killing two birds with one stone there. It serves both your human needs and your spiritual needs to work with these conscious levels in alignment. And as we do that work, as we raise our consciousness above ego level, then we start to reveal more of our divine nature. And one of the fun things is we start to contribute to the collective consciousness. So you know that as 7+ billion human beings are thinking, those thoughts are contributing to the noosphere, which surrounds our planet here, which is basically an atmosphere of thought, consciousness. And it's kind of like majority rules. So when the majority of us are in fear, think COVID, the noosphere gets pretty dense and dark, and we all participate in it, whether we want to or not. Your work to change your focus to your higher thinking is actually contributing to that noosphere and making it easier for others to access their superconscious without even knowing it, because we're helping to raise the frequency of the divine energy that surrounds this planet and that guides our way. Doesn't that sound like fun? Yeah. There is a good reason for this work, and it's not all about moi. It's going from me to we. So let's take some time in let me finish with Michael Berg's last statement. He says, as you become like God, it becomes easier for someone else to become like God. The world hangs in the balance. So no pressure here. But the world is waiting. So let's take some time in meditation. And this is just a chance for us to turn our thoughts away from what's happening around us and be alone with that higher consciousness within us. That's why we want to get comfortable in our chair first, so that our body doesn't interrupt us or take our attention away. Just scan through your body and see if there's anything that wants attention, and breathe as if you're breathing love through that area. Deep breaths that allow you to slow down the pace of your body. And as we breathe love, we imagine that energy of love easily flowing through every cell of our body. No matter what's happening, what we're feeling in this body, love is also present. And we allow that divine force of love to soothe and to harmonize all that's happening in this physical being. Now we take a moment in time to consider what has been a dominant thought of resistance in my life this week. Something I don't like, or I don't want, or I wish was different. Something I need but don't have, or have but don't need. Just identify, don't spend a lot of time on this going into it as much as just knowing the thing. And as we identify the person that we're resisting, or the situation, or the thing, we ask ourselves, is there one power or two powers in that situation? If there's any form of resistance, judgment, worry, we have created an apparent second power. And we come back to the truth and realize God is the only power working in this situation. This all-loving goodness of God is expanding and flowing freely through this thing, through this relationship, through this situation. It's a presence and a power of all provision. It's a mind that holds every answer and all solutions. It's the harmonizing power of love that's working for good. Take a moment to make way for those qualities of God in that situation. And allow your divine imagination to show you what the potential is here. Invite Spirit to show you now what this could look like if your higher self were expressing freely. Who are you being as you allow the source to be itself as you? What are you thinking about? How are your thoughts changing? How are you feeling differently as you let Spirit lead the way? Take a moment to breathe in gratitude for the potential in this situation. Grateful to know all that is needed here is already being given. And I am glad to receive. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. This is the truth of my being, and now I let it be. Amen. My prayer for each of us is to begin to know more often the potential that this life can be. One of the things that Marie Manucheri says, she's a teacher I listen to online, instead of focusing so much on what's going wrong, start your thoughts with, what if? Finish the sentence. All about God, all about the qualities of God in the situation. What if this happened? What if I was this? What if this is how it felt? What if this is what I did? What if this was what showed up? How fun, right? How fun that could be. So, may that be part of your work this week. What if? Thank you for playing with me. We're at a time in our service where we share our tithes and our love offerings, and it's just another way to create everything that you give to your spiritual community, creates an opportunity for your community to continue to be more than it is now. So thank you for that. If you're watching online, you can give on our website at unityinnaperville.org. Or send a check to our P.O. box at box 9733 in Naperville, and the zip is 60567. Let's bless what we give together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am grateful. Thank you. Ushers, are you there? Would you come, please? Thank you.
I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Cindy.
I'm Cindy Spees, and I'll be sharing announcements with you today. If you are joining us for the very first time, welcome. We're glad you're here. Please complete an orange registration card at the welcome table and leave it at the info table. We'll keep you posted about upcoming events. Virtual newcomers can sign up for the weekly e-news at unityinnaperville.org. Join Energy of Spirit today at 12:15, presented by moi. Okay. Today is really going to be fun because we're in the winter rhythm right now, and that controls the nervous system and our bones. So we're going to learn some points to manage keeping warm and any aches and pains we have. The love offering is $10 at the info table. Monday morning metaphysics meets tomorrow online at 10:30 on Zoom. Join Reverend Kity and Reverend Shirley for our healing service online tomorrow at 7 p.m. We'll discuss healing principles and pray for healing requests. If you can't attend, email requests to prayer at unityinnaperville.org. See our event calendar for the Zoom link. Create your vision board this Saturday at 9:30 a.m. at Unity. Deb DeSandro will guide us to bring our dreams to life. Check the event calendar for a list of materials needed. You can register online or at the info table or at the door. Love offering of $20. Next Sunday is the last day to bring in your styrofoam. If you can help deliver the styrofoam to Dart Container in North Aurora for reprocessing, please email admin@unityinnaperville.org. Join us for lunch at Jean Cuisine next Sunday after church. That's X-I-apostrophe-A-N. Jean. Okay. Bunko night returns February 2nd. That's Friday night at 7 p.m. Please bring a snack to share and $2 cash to fund the pot. Drinks and instructions on how to play will be provided. RSVP to admin@unityinnaperville.org or sign up in the front room. Our welcome team is in need of more greeters and ushers and service assistants. If you can serve once every 4 to 6 weeks, please sign up in the front room and we'll provide training. I will tell you it's a really wonderful way to meet people, and if you're a little bit shy like I am, it's a really good thing. Okay. Our prayer chaplain today is Steve. He can pray with you in the prayer room after service, or you can email your name and phone number to prayer@unityinnaperville.org, and a chaplain will call you today by 1 p.m. For details on all our events, see the event calendar at unityinnaperville.org or email admin@unityinnaperville.org. Now Steve Landry has an announcement.
Thank you, Cindy. So a quick announcement about our bus trip to the Paramount Theater to see Billy Elliot. 2 weeks ago, we put out an announcement to see what kind of interest we would have. 28 people signed up that day. So we started moving the wheels, and we reserved 40 tickets at the Paramount. We reserved a bus, a school bus for that day, and now we have 40 tickets reserved. We have 34 people signed up already. So we've arranged for payment methods. We have to pay a third at least by February 1st, and then the balance by March 1st. So this is time sensitive. That's why I'm up here giving this quick announcement. So next Sunday will be the last Sunday that you'll be able to pay here in person. We encourage you to pay the whole thing. If you can't, pay the $23 deposit. You can do that at the info table. Don is working it today. Usually Susan is here. And then the balance will be due by March 1st. So we're going to have a bus pick us up. I'll go over the info real quick. It's Sunday, March 24th. It's a matinee at 1 o'clock. The bus will leave here at 12:15 after the service, after Reverend Kity's message. I would bring a lunch because we're going to be bam, 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 bam. So might want to bring something to eat. We'll take the bus to the Paramount. Melody Moy, who helped reserve these tickets, she volunteers as an usher at the Paramount, and she'll help us get to our seats. And we'll see the show. We'll be back here by about 4:30. So we have 6 spots left. Now, we can get a few more tickets. So if we get a bunch of people signing up, the bus will hold 48. We can get a few more seats. So it should be a lot of fun. I think this is our first bus trip together. So it should be a lot of fun. So it's time sensitive, so I encourage you all to sign up. And if you have any questions, you can always email admin@unityinnaperville.org. If you're struggling financially, email admin@unity.org, and we'll see what we can do for you. So thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
I don't know the last time I was on a school bus.
I know. Yeah, let's not talk about that. Hey, opportunity to clean that up, right? Okay, so I'm excited to give you an update. I promised that as we close the books each month, we'd let you know how we're doing on our fundraiser for our new cafe. So if you haven't seen it, here's where our front room is gonna look like when we're done with this. And you're also helping us to do everything that we try and do here every year at Unity and expand and evolve in our gifts to you. So as of the end of December, I know we're almost mid-January at least, at the end of December, we have raised almost $27,000. I know. And our goal is to get to 50,000, and that will help us do everything we want to do here at Unity and create the cafe. So I know many of you have committed to giving on a regular basis. Thank you for that. Some of you have said, I will give. I'm going to do it individually, so Don is happy to receive your credit card at the table today if that's convenient for you, or mail as you normally do, or however you want to give in that way. We're grateful. And our goal is to meet this $50,000 donation by March 31st. So thank you for keeping up with your commitments. And here's the most important thing. Keep donating what you normally donate as well. If we shift our gift from our normal donation over to the cafe, then what your gifts are giving towards right now start to suffer a little bit. So let's see if we can find a balance there as well. And thank you for all that you're helping to do here at Unity. Do we have anything else besides music? Are we ready to do that? Let's stand and sing one more song.
This is a good one to remember as we're going out this week. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Joy is my source. Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. Thank you, God. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything. Thank you, God. God gives me everything, and we receive it that I need.
That is a good one to remember. That is a good one to remember as you're going out the door, no matter what you're facing this week. Okay, here's our closing affirmation for this week. Let's say it together. I consciously remember to renew my mind and reveal the divine within. Here is the word, remember. Yeah, because you can consciously do that. Would you please find someone that you haven't met yet or can't remember their name, and just share one thing that you learned from this message today, and then meet us out front for some food and fellowship, and stay for Energy with Spirit, and come to see the healing service online tomorrow night. Blah, you know it all. So see you there sometime. Thank you, everyone.
Through me, Spirit move through me, from head to heart to hand. Through me, Spirit move through me, from head to heart to hands. Hi, online. A mighty river is flowing, bringing life to the land. Abundance flows as I fully extend, from head to heart to hands. Here we go. Through me, Spirit move through me, from head to heart to hands. Through me, Spirit move through me, from head to heart to hands. I share from the bounty, because I understand. For blessings flow as I simply let it roll, from head to heart to hands. Here we go. Through me, Spirit move through me, from head to heart to hands. Through me, Spirit move through me, from head to heart to hands. Sing the chorus again. Oh, through me, Spirit move through. Oh, move through me, from head to heart to hands. Through me, Spirit move through me, beginning from head to heart to hands. Head to heart to hands, from head to heart to hands. Woo! Thank you, online. We'll see you next week.